Today on Belmont Park Live is another victory in the stars for Horoscope. After winning off a year layoff, is the one to beat in today's 8th race. March Express was precocious as a 2-year-old. She'll try and regain her winning form for trainer Todd Pletcher in today's featured Grade 3 Soaring Softly on the turf. The X Factor in the Soaring Softly, 11 says she's won 3 of her 4 career starts, undefeated since she's added blinkers. But can she handle the new surface running on the turf for the first time? And Justify going for that middle jewel of the Triple Crown tonight in Baltimore. We'll give our thoughts and a preview of the second leg of the Triple Crown for Bob Baffert's star 3-year-old. Welcome to Belmont Park Live. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Good to have you with us on this Saturday afternoon. Good crowd in Belmont, New York, here at Big Sandy. Preakness Day always brings out the fans, whether or not. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met, LA Dodger, Paul LaDuca, New York Racing Association handicapper, Andy Serling. Maggie Wolfendale joins us in a few moments. Of course, we're going to talk plenty of Preakness coming up in the show. Feature, though, today, even though we've had some scratches, that's the one race that does remain on the grass. Just been told it is off the turf now.
You just got to take it off, huh?
We'll deal with that.
Cosmically just.
Cosmically
We're dealing with weather changes
we
throughout the card, though. But as we've seen the last couple of days, you can find some nice prices as a result of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have. And you found a couple of them. I mean, you found, yesterday we had a
little
pick,
chalky yesterday.
A little chalky, but we still had a pick 5 that was not awful for what it paid.
No,
what the
I
prices
agree.
were.
Excellent value. I mean, paid twice the parlay yesterday's Naira Bet's late pick 5. And you know what? No matter what the weather is here, it's worse in Maryland.
That's true.
They had said at Churchill Downs that was the wettest track maybe ever for a Kentucky Derby. Sloppy again. Justify loved it at Churchill. We'll see if he likes it in Baltimore.
It's going to be very interesting what happens. They've scratched a lot of the turf races off, so it is pouring down. I think it's going to help him. It's going to make it a little bit softer underneath because it continues to pour down there.
All right, plenty to talk about the Preakness coming up in the show. Let's take a look at what we have coming up for our today's races. 7, 8, and 9 ahead for you this afternoon. Allowance optional claiming group scheduled for the Grass Now main track to kick things off for 17 post time. That 8th race at 1 1/16 and the Soaring Softly off the turf, that Grade 3. I would expect that not to be a Grade 3 after the
Well, they do.
there.
It's interesting you bring that up. They actually do regrade them. And they'll look at it. I mean, listen, there's some quality horses in here. 11s will likely be the favorite over Strategic Dreams. Both of these horses have shown stakes quality, winning overnight stakes in prior races. So it's not clear that these aren't graded quality horses.
Weather and track conditions brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray at Belmont Park. Piranha on, pests gone. Sloppy main track, and as we mentioned, off the turf. Everyone watching today's races, get in on the action while you watch. Earn a $200 new member bonus by entering promo code LIVE at sign up. And bet any track, anywhere, anytime, right from home or with your Naira Bets app, wherever you may be. Use that promo code LIVE to take advantage of that $200 promo. Go to NairaBets.com. Here's a look at the field for race number 7, our first action here of the afternoon. Sudden Surprise right now, the one to beat, 9-5 on the board. Few jockey changes we'll go through in a moment in this race. But for more, down from the paddock, let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
I don't see this often, at least around these parts, with number 10, Sudden Surprise, and that he is a reclaim by trainer Todd Pletcher for Rapoli stable. And look, he is that all-or-nothing type of runner. He's 10 for 21 lifetime. The problem is that it's not as if Todd's claiming him back off of somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. He's claiming him off of a guy who's already won 2 races on this card here today and wins a lot of races, and Brad Cox. Now, each time I see this horse, I like what I see, but like I also alluded to, is his best days are behind him? That's a question we'll have to find out. I do think he's actually put on a little more weight since the last couple times I'd seen him. But once again, his energy is good as it has always been, and he does have a decent off-track record. Next, we'll move on to a horse who always catches my eye in number 4, Rock Doc. He has yet to step foot on a wet track here for trainer Brian Lynch. I don't No, there's nothing with him physically that's saying against it or for it, but he does look very good overall. He is a heavier type of animal, but he's very well balanced and probably one of the more fit times that I've seen this guy now that he is third off of the layoff, and I kind of like that cycle for him as he does come in here off the back of a win. But facing this company, even though it is an off-the-turf event, well, sometimes you're jumping into the deep end of the pool against these multiple winners here, guys.
Maggie, thank you. Post-parade here coming up in a few moments. We're going to take a look at our current favorite right now, and there he is. That is Sudden Surprise, Todd Pletcher runner, moving to his barn. Tyler Gaffleone will be aboard.
He does like a wet track. I don't love his recent form. He was reclaimed by owner Michael Rapoli and Todd Pletcher. I thought his form when he was with this group before he got claimed by Brad Cox wasn't good enough. And, Paul, I'm convinced he's got one good race. That day he won here by a nose where he cost you and I a fortune.
Yeah, that's right. He did cost you and I a fortune that day. I like the reclaim, and I like that they've taken their time a little bit, and maybe they knew what was going on, and Brad might have helped them out a little bit in getting this gelding ready for them. He's got a good record over a wet track. I used him. I don't know if he should be 2-1 because I thought this race you can go different ways.
There are a lot of horses who can win here. We'll roll through some quickly. It's very, very competitive. Rudy Rodriguez has 2. Summer Bourbon, to me, will win if he runs back to his race off the claim for Rudy, and I don't know what to do with him, but he did lose last race to Long Haul Bay, who's the favorite in the stake coming up right now at Pimlico.
Yeah, and his race 2 back puts him right there in the middle. Now, he drops for 40, but that's reasonable. They claimed it for 25, and this is...
Got a perfect trip. He runs second here to a very good horse. Got a very good trip in here, Paul, but he ran a big figure.
He did. And the horse in front of him's running now. He sort of like comes along here for second. I like the way he sort of runs on because the horse in front is really the best in here, but he fights on for a good second place finish.
I'm shocked at the price he is. The track is somewhat favoring speed, but we've seen a wicked pace last race that collapsed. Rudy has another runner in here, Blue Belt, same thing. He ran into, that's the number 9 Blue Belt. He ran into, we'll get to him in a second. You like this horse, Paul, the number 6 Royal Asset.
Well, to me, I thought it was an okay race last time out for 16 for Wesley Ward. You get Tommy Morley now. Horse, not really, never run over a wet surface, but was bred for a Colonial Fair on the bottom side. I thought this was, pretty, for go to 16 to 40.
I have a question, Paul. This horse dropped in for $16,000 last time. Does that concern you?
It does. It lost to a horse named Pray Hard. But I think there's not a lot of pace in here with all the horses out. So I was thinking maybe this horse can get to the front end. I'm going to go 3 deep in here, 6, 10, and 11. I thought the 11 was a play in here for sure. Dr. Shane, I think you need to use him as well. 2 and 9. I'm going to take a shot with, the 9 Gucci Factor. Excuse me, that's supposed to be the 7 in race number 8. There is no 9 horses in there. Horoscope
there's a 9. Oh, there isn't. I'm sorry.
There isn't a 9, in there. That's 2-7. That might be my bad. 3-5-9 in race number 9. Throw in the 1 if you have a little bit more budget. Then 3-4-9 in race number 10.
Pick 4, obviously. That was Paul's ticket. It begins here in this 7th race. We're going to be on for races 7, 8, and 9. That last race you can watch with the Naira Now app. But it begins here if you want to get down and you're watching from home. 87,000 plus already in that pick 4 pool. And we're going to have our post-parade here coming up in just a moment.
Can we talk a little bit quickly about the 9 Blue Belt? Why can't he win if he runs back to his race 2 back? He just was in way over his head last time out. He's a huge price.
He's a big price for a horse that's mostly a dirt horse when you look at this. He was entered for main track only. Well, he's 17-1. Wow, from the 7-2 morning line. That is a crazy race. And here is his race winning 2 back when he won. I thought it showed a lot of grit. They tried to put him a little bit over his head last time out against Long Haul Bay. Like Andy's saying, that race is about ready to go off here pretty soon at Pimlico. Just over his head. Now he's back in with his friends, so you can maybe expect an effort close to this.
There's
or at least
no way he should be 17-1.
No way.
I've just forgotten a little bit. That number's going to come down.
Right?
Yeah. Let's take a look at your corrected pick 4 ticket. We have that for you now.
Sorry. There we go. Yeah, 6, 10, 11 with 2, 7 with 3, 5, 9, and then 3, 4, 9 in the last. The race number 9 being taken off the turf is a little surprising. And if you want to take a chance against Horoscope, who might be your heavy favorite in race number 8, but I'm feeling confident today.
All right, here comes our post parade to kick off this late pick 4 sequence. The remaining half of the entry here, all the way on the outside. Summer Bourbon has Junior Alvarado aboard.
1 and 2 for Rudy Rodriguez, getting some class relief.
Bass River Road, the 3, main track only entrant off the claim for Mitchell Friedman.
Mitch Friedman under the radar does a good job, but he would have to improve off the claim.
Horse won 7 in a row at one point. The 4, Rock Dock, is Jose Lezcano riding for Brian Lynch.
Never tried a wet track before, son of a gemologist, but does have a lot of speed.
Royal Asset has some speed as well off the claim for trainer Tom Morley.
I think this is a horse, another horse that's trying an off track for the first time, and I think it's going to like it.
Horse Andy was just talking about here, the big price gets even bigger, 18-1 now on Blue Belt.
Taking no money whatsoever, but ran well enough to contend 2 back.
David Cohen will ride. Here's the 10. Sudden Surprise, our 3-2 favorite now.
3 of the 10 wins by this gelding have been over a wet surface.
Dr. Shane, the 11 at 6-1. Danny Gargan and Kendrick Carmouche, who's won 3 today.
First time on the dirt for Danny Gargan. He can run on both turf and dirt.
And another main track only to the outside here. This 13, Love That Jazz, has Hector Diaz aboard.
Love That Jazz is a horse that might just be not quite good enough.
All right, pick 4 coming up, closing in on 100,000 plus in that pool. Good luck, as you still have a few moments, plenty of time to get down. I want to remind everyone you can play along as well with no money at all with the Belmont Showdown. The player with the highest daily mythical bankroll earns 50,000 Naira Bets points, and new this meet, every race you win earns you a sweepstakes entry for a spot in the Saratoga Challenge on August 10th. At Saratoga Racecourse, we'll pay your $1,000 entry fee. It's up to you, though, to compete for that $15,000 in prize money. Get started at naira.com/showdown to get in your picks and compete for the top spot. We're going to take a break in the action. Just getting started here on Belmont Park Live. Late pick 4 is ahead on this Saturday afternoon on Preakness Day in Belmont, New York.
It's Run Happy in front. Limousine Liberal, Holy Boss can get him. Run Happy has won the Naira.com King's Bishop by 4.
Kentucky Derby winner Orb has emerged as one of the nation's most promising young stallions. The leading freshman sale sire of weanlings, yearlings, and 2-year-olds, his first runners are off to a fast start. His debut winners have dazzled on the track, scoring on both dirt and turf. In the sales rep, his yearlings continue to command top prices, including the $1 million co-sale topper at Saratoga. Outstanding value, outstanding results, or standing at Claiborne Farm.
You're watching Belmont Park Live on this Saturday afternoon. Of course, the Preakness coming up later from Baltimore. We'll talk plenty of Preakness in just a little bit, but we're going to focus on this first leg of the pick 4 here in Belmont, New York, and that is our 3-2 favorite, Sudden Surprise. With more, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And Greg, I actually caught up with trainer Todd Pletcher and asked him, what's going on? You claimed this one back. And he said, well, yes, owner Mike Rapoli wanted him back. And just, Mike is kind of that guy. He likes to take care of his horses. And Sudden Surprise has won a lot of races for him. So that's the kind of horse that he'll take back. And obviously, Todd may have the keys to the engine to get this guy's career back on the right track. To his outside is number 11, Dr. Shane, who I thought ran very well in defeat, coming back off the layoff first time here for Danny Gargan. And don't get me wrong, his trainer Nick Essler before did a fantastic job with this horse. But now as a 5-year-old, and horses tend to reach their physical full physical potential at that age, and Dr. Shane has done just that, and he just looks really fit here, second off the bench, and really kind of bowed himself up well, nicely on the bridle. So I do like what I had seen physically from Dr. Shane. The problem is, though, guys, is his distaste for an off-track, at least in his past performances.
Fans having a good time here on this Saturday at Big Sandy. Yeah, Dr. Shane, who Maggie was talking about, 6-1. Kendrick already mentioned he went 3 in a row earlier on the card this afternoon. This horse just missed last time out after having a lead in the stretch on the turf at Aqueduct.
Kendrick's won because he's been very adept at sending horse to the front end. Maggie's right. This horse may have some issues with a wet track. This horse, Danny Gargan, he's in a sharp barn. He can run on both surfaces, Paul. Turf and dirt.
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, they put blinkers on this horse. Like, they've tinkered before, and then it finally worked last time. I guess first time in the Gargan barn. I don't know where he sits in this race. There's some pace in this race. Someone's going to have to pass somebody, or whoever gets to the front end here is going to be very dangerous.
Well, your horse, the 6, Royal Asset's supposed to go in here. He's very quick. I'm just worried with Royal Asset whether or not why Wesley Ward is a 6-year-old, dropped for 16,000. Tom Morley's been doing very well as a sharp owner. I just am very dubious.
I like the horse because of the wet breeding. That was more of me. I thought maybe if this horse can get to the front end, that this horse can keep on going.
Still our 6-5 favorite, though. A horse in the Micropoli Silks. Win Machine, 10 for 21 lifetime. Won at this condition before, but last time out at this level, struggled.
Can I make him a dunce cap horse? Is it too late to make him a dunce cap horse? He can win this race. It's a ridiculous even money shot. This horse will improve for Brad Cox. He was lucky to win 2 starts at Saratoga. He likes a wet track. That's a positive for him.
Yeah.
He is not even money in this field. There are too many horses that win this race. I think
people see the 10 for 21. They see Pletcher, Rapoli.
Yeah, that's true. That's what they see. They see
getting overbet.
Yeah, getting overbet. He is getting overbet. He should be around 8-5 in this race, 7-5, somewhere in that area, but not even money. But he does have 3 wins over a wet track, like Andy says. You know, I think you have to use in the multi-exotics, but I would not bet to win.
And you see that second in that New York Stallion series as well, which another feather in the cap, although it was a distant second back at the end of 2017. Certainly the one to beat, but probably not at even money, although that's what the public has him at right now. 11 about to move in, Dr. Shane. There's the 6. Royal Asset, Dylan Davis, no doubt going to make use of that speed.
4-5.
Wow.
He must have heard I made him a dunce cap horse.
Even lower.
He could be 3-5 if I really start hating on him. He's ridiculously overbet here.
They must think he's going to sit back and make one run. Someone's going to have to sit back and make one run in here.
The odds board makes me think this race was run a little earlier, and we just didn't know about it. 4-5?
That is a short number on Sudden Surprise. We'll see if he can live up to it. Here we go. Start of this late pick 4 from Belmont. Let's send it upstairs. John Imbrial with the call.
And Love That Jazz just moved in. Now the final horse, the 1A Summer Bourbon. And we are set for the start of race 7, this off the turfer. And they are off. And Sudden Surprise goes right out for the early lead with Love That Jazz right alongside. And then comes Royal Asset running next in 3rd. Summer Bourbon's on the extreme outside in 4th. Love That Jazz now takes over from Sudden Surprise. Summer Bourbon runs in 3rd. Dr. Shane is next in 4th. And Blue Belt down on the inside in 5th. It's almost 3 lengths. Back to Rock Dock and Royal Asset, and the trailer is Bass River Road in 8th. The quarter, 22 1/5 seconds. Love That Jazz. On the inside is Sudden Surprise. Sudden Surprise now draws even with Love That Jazz. And Summer Bourbon is racing in 3rd with Dr. Shane in 4th and Blue Belt 5th. The half in 45-1. And now they're in the stretch. And Sudden Surprise spurts away now to lead by 3. Love That Jazz, Summer Bourbon, Dr. Shane, Rock Dock putting in a late run down towards the inside. It is Sudden Surprise with a 3-length lead as they come on down for the finish. And Sudden Surprise is the winner. Dr. Shane completes the exacta, close for 3rd among Summer Bourbon, Love That Jazz, and Rock Dock.
Ridiculous.
Like we said all along, this horse should be even money or lower. Actually floated up to 6-5 in the end. So Sudden Surprise, 11th win in 22 career starts now.
You know, sometimes they just know horses are going to win around here. And he was much the best. I mean, the pace was honest, and he was down towards the inside before drifting in the stretch. There's a no doubt about it winner. I don't know. I don't know how he's this price on paper, but he got the job done.
Tyler aggressive with him early.
Well, you know what?
Tyler's a very good rider.
You got to give him credit. You got to give him a ton of credit because if you look at the racing form, we kept going. Who's the horse that can pass horses in here? And it was the 11, Dr. Shane, who's been able to rate a tiny bit, and he was the only one that made up a tiny bit of ground. So Tyler said, let me be aggressive. I'm the horse that's dropping in class here, and no one will go by me, and that's what happened.
Is this smart riding is where you got to be on the racetrack this afternoon?
Well, you want to drift. I mean, I don't know why David Cullen went down to the inside with the 9 horse, and David's been riding well. No horses are running at all inside. But, I mean, there wasn't a lot I think Tyler could do early. He's probably a little off the rail in the backstretch, but he got out in the middle of the track when it mattered in the stretch. Listen, this horse was much the best. I wouldn't have bet him, and I'd have booked him at 6-5 in this race, but he won.
He's a wet track kind of horse. You're going to see this horse entered in a lot of off-the-turf type of races, you know, and he'll win some more races.
Go to Saratoga and go in 5.5 furlong turf races that he's eligible for and hope they get rained off. It's a good plan. You're probably right.
4 for 6 on off tracks with a second as well in his career. 10, 11, 1A, 13 unofficially here in the race to kick off this late pick 4. It's a favorite to kick things off. Sudden surprise, Mike Rapoli reclaimed and gets this one back into the winner's circle with Todd Pletcher. We're going to take a break. Justify. He is what's trending for sure with the Preakness coming up later. We'll talk about it next.
International Super Sire Warfront. Among his 34 stakes horses in 2017 were Grade 1 winners American Patriot, Avenge, Roly-Poly, Warflag, and Europe's champion 2-year-old colt, U.S. Navy Flag. Last year, Warfront was the nation's #1 sire in multiple categories. In the sales ring, his yearlings continue to bring prices well over $1 million. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday afternoon with us. The pick 4 underway. Race 7 to kick it off goes to the favorite, Sudden Surprise. Todd Pletcher, this one reclaimed back in the Rapoli stable and picks up the 11th win of his career. Tyler Gaffalione aboard for the winning ride. $4.50 for the win. 10, 11, 1A is how it finished. Let's head downstairs to Maggie for more.
Not often that you see a horse 50% as far as lifetime wins are concerned, but Todd, that is exactly what Sudden Surprise is, and a horse that you reached back in for the 40 and took him last time.
We did. Mike, you know, he likes this horse. He owned his sire and has made his sire a successful stallion in New York. So, like you say, he's a win machine. He loves to win, and you know, we were happy to claim him back and kind of surveying our options, and he's just been training so well. We decided that, you know, this was a logical spot.
I'm sure a little rain dance didn't hurt either.
No, he's got a great record on the wet track, and you know, when he's right and he breaks well and he puts himself into the race, he generally shows up and runs hard.
Now, we generally see you down at Pimlico, but a little bit of a quiet weekend there. You do run Pony Up in the Sir Barton Stakes. Any inclination of how he might do?
I think he's training well. You know, the wet track's a little bit of a question mark. He's run well in the dirt, the turf, the synthetic. We'll see in the slop. But we'd actually Mr. Kelly and Calumet had talked about maybe taking a shot at the Preakness, and we decided, you know, he's out of an AP Indy mare. Let's try the Sir Barton, and if he does well, we'll consider the Belmont.
And you mentioned the Belmont. What are we looking like there? You have a battalion of nice 3-year-olds in your barn.
We do. You know, we're looking forward to watching the Preakness today and see how that develops. But Audible's here. He's doing well. You know, Rosso's doing well. And, you know, we've always felt like he's bred for the distance. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Well, Todd, congratulations. Looking forward to seeing those runners on the track soon, too.
Thank you.
All right, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. Todd Pletcher would love to have Audible in the Belmont, but if Justify were to win today, that is probably not going to happen.
Well, it could happen if Todd enters him. He'll just never trade for Windstar again after that.
True, right?
But Vito Rosso, you know that Mike Rapoli is going back with him. I mean, Mike wants to win the Belmont as much as anybody could possibly want to win it. That's great. He's a great supporter of New York racing, and he almost won it with Stay Thirsty. Brutal beat for him.
Good to have you with us. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling. We're underway in this pick 4. We'll set up the 8th race in a moment. Time for a little what's trending now in horse racing, and all the talk is about your Kentucky Derby winner, Justify. How will he do later today in Baltimore? There's 2 legends talking shop. Bob Baffert, D. Wayne Lucas, each with 6 Preakness wins apiece. One more ties them for the best mark all time.
2 of the best right there, and they don't get much better than them 2. And they've been handling with class, and they seem like they both don't age.
Trying to equal Robert Wyndham Walden, who set the record with 7 Preakness victories. So look at Justify getting a little morning bath after a workout.
Can't get enough bath shots, you know?
Right?
Love a bath shot.
Look, I love this shot. Thanks to Barbara Livingston and Daily Racing Form for letting us show these. That is an eye of a champion.
You know, Barbara's been the best in the business when it comes to this anyway, and that is just a tremendous shot. And some horsemen will tell you, you got to look at the horse's eye and get that feeling. Maybe he can tell you something.
Maybe if he could look into his soul, certainly if he could look into his mind. That's been the thing about him. They've said he has been such a smart horse, picks up on so much, and it's been a whirlwind. I mean, really, 5 weeks' time, just a little bit more than that, he's made all his starts.
Well, that was the one thing that American Pharoah was always noted for, you know, Andy, that he was always a very intelligent, very smart horse, around people. He was always kind and gentle. And this horse seems the same. And when you have a teacher like Bob Baffert that can take a horse this smart, it's a magical duo.
American Pharoah's smarter than me. He did not bet against himself in every Triple Crown race like I did. The thing about American Pharoah was amazing was in those circumstances. And a friend of mine once said to me, you could drop a grenade next to American Pharoah, and I don't think that he would flinch.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really amazing. You think of that scene in the winner's circle at Belmont with all those people. It was pandemonium.
Yeah.
And the horse, nothing seemed to bother him. He was the perfect horse for that circumstance.
We talked about Mendelssohn on the show yesterday, and Aidan O'Brien said, look, they weren't prepared for that, and obviously the horse wasn't as well. It got to Mendelssohn. Obviously, with Justify, it didn't matter to him at all. It didn't affect him in any way.
It's like any other athlete. Every you know, trainer goes into the Kentucky Derby wondering if their horse is going to be able to handle the crowd. Magnum Moon was one of them. Did not. Ran 19th, and that was the one thing going into it. A lot of people were wondering, could Justify handle it? He did, even only with that amount of races. That says a lot about a horse.
I think if it hadn't been crowded on Derby Day, Magnum Moon could have been 16th. I'm almost convinced of it. Really.
By the way, did you see some of the early wagering last night? Quip was 7-2. In some of the early wagering.
Well, people were probably drinking.
Yeah, it was late. You know, I had to come out of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck to Quip.
Yeah, good luck to Quip. I'm with you.
Take a look at the current odds as they stand right now. We are, what, about 2 hours away from post time. Quip's floated up to 9-1 now, and Justify holding it 1-2. Good Magic. He was at 9-1.
He's big value at 5-1. Good Magic. Chad Brown, very confident.
He is the value. Listen, he wasn't far off, and, you know, everybody's conceding the race to Justify, even all of us, and there is Good Magic. He's done nothing wrong. And listen, Chad's as honest as they get, and he has not backed down. He has not backed down. Each interview, it keeps getting, because the horse is getting better and better.
Said there's still an opportunity to make up some ground on Justify. He's, you know, 5 races in just over 12 weeks. That's asking a lot.
Yeah, listen, I mean, you got to realize these horses, you know, in theory, they're all trained not just for the Kentucky Derby, to withstand the pressures of the Triple Crown. Now, that means they're ready to come back in 2 weeks. Now, obviously, a lot of them don't. But Chad Brown's getting Good Magic ready for the Derby like he was going to win the Derby. He's going to have to come back in 2 weeks in the Preakness. And I think that's one of the reasons it gives him the confidence to run there. He knows that Justifies a very, very big mountain to climb, but he knows he's confident this horse will run as well as he can.
I think that he got so close. The other part of this, too, he was able to handle the Derby crowd and the off track. And then Chad's probably thinking, okay, I'm getting both again, and I was close enough. Why not try again? And he was the closest to him in the Derby.
Good Magic, of course, owned by a group that has had just a sensational run in a short amount of time in this game. Owners who get into the sport can spend a lifetime trying to get that one special horse that takes him to horse racing's biggest stage. Bob Edwards, less than 3 years in. For him and his family, that has become the norm. From Breeders' Cup victories to a champion to lining up in the Kentucky Derby, it's all happened very fast for Bob Edwards and his E5 racing.
It's 5 Edwards, my wife, myself, and our 3 children, Cassidy, Riley, and Delaney. So my wife's cousin was getting married, and I kind of had to duck out, you know, during the ceremony and get on the phone as Mike was going through the auction, and we ended up buying our first horse, Lucky Bug, and that was 2015. She said, don't buy a horse, and that was never the plan, and I swear my daughter will agree, we didn't have a plan to buy a horse, it just kind of fell in that way.
I thought it was extremely crazy. When he walked out the door that morning with my daughter, I said, don't you dare buy a horse. I just knew in the back of my mind when he grabbed my daughter, who has loved the horses since the time she was 3 years old, there was just something, I just knew something was going to happen, and this was going to be an experience for us with the horses.
Dad, this is my chance to get a horse. You've got to go home with a horse today. And I know she was telling him no, but I was like, Dad, you got to get this horse. Yeah. So kind of just went from there.
So yeah, we roll into kind of town for a family reunion and left with a $250,000 horse. Yeah.
Because he lives for that thrill, you know, that excitement, that energy. And she begged us all through her young years to purchase a horse, which we got through all those years of raising her without purchasing any horses. And now, everything has changed.
I think that it honestly stemmed because I was such a big horse lover and I wanted one my entire life, and now I have like 70 plus, so I'm like extremely happy. And I do try and take the time to like visit them all, and I always have the treats with me and I give them affection.
We've had a lot of luck early, right? So it doesn't hurt to make it exciting, make it fun. We won 3 Breeders' Cups together in the last, 2 years. Didn't know what the Breeders' Cup really was, going into it. I remember Mary Ryan, saying, Bob, this never happens. This never happens. There's a lot of numbers, as you know, in the sport. It's almost more overwhelming at some level. And you have, the analog and digital side. A lot of the breeders don't care about the numbers. They look at a horse and how it should match up, and they breed that way. And you guys like me who look at the numbers, and then I can kind of have a conference with Mike and defer to him ultimately on if this will work.
He has more energy than anyone I've ever met in my life before. He's got like that Midas touch, you know what I mean? He seems to never fail at anything.
I think a lot does have to do with luck, but we do have a lot of good people working with us, and I know my dad has spent like hours and hours and nights going through this and trying to be the best at the business, which he's got to be the best at everything he does. So I think it does take a lot of knowledge and skill to get where we are, but definitely luck too.
Why did this happen to us? And I can't answer that. We're blessed. I don't know. I can say we're just very fortunate. But I will say that there is a portion of luck involved, but Bob's business concept has always been like, hire the best and you'll get the best.
I bring the luck to the whole equation, right? So skill and smarts, I'm going to defer to Chad or Mike Ryan or Scott Pierce or any Rudy. It could be Brad Cox, whoever, Jimmy Toner, or Dave, all the guys that are training horses. Those guys are the other. I'm just the luck portion of it.
Well, this is a look at what this group has accomplished. E5 stands for Bob, Christine, his wife, their 3 children, Cassidy, Riley, and Delaney. What a roll. Good Magic, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, the Toyota Bluegrass, Rushing Fall, New Money Honey, Zendaya won the Grade 2 Goldacova. Of course, not even good enough to make their list of their top runners.
Yeah, Bob's a terrific guy, Edwards. He really is, and obviously he's had some tremendous success. I ran into Barbara Banke on Stone Street Table, and I ran into her in New York City about 2 weeks before the Breeders' Cup, actually, and I was talking to her about Good Magic. And I said to her, you've got the right partner in Bob Edwards. He's a terrific guy, and she said to me, he's a lucky guy.
That's all that matters.
Better to be lucky than good. It sounds
yeah.
like he's extremely competitive, but wow, it just worked out. I mean, his wife is from Saratoga, but by chance there was a sale going on the same time. They had a family reunion there and just took a tour of the sales pavilion, and from that, got hooked on the sport.
It's amazing. I remember with New Money Honey, I think his first horse, Chad Wren told me in Saratoga he had a 2-year-old. We were talking about it. He said, I have a Medaglia d'Oro 2-year-old I haven't run. She's like a monster. And I said, oh, who owns the horse? Just, making conversation. He said, some new guy.
Right?
Well, he was right. I never heard of him.
Some new lucky guy.
Yeah.
Who could wind up being a Preakness winner later on this afternoon with good magic. We shall see. Want to remind everyone playing the Preakness today, be sure to place your Preakness Exacta on the NYRA Bets app. You get a 10% winners bonus. The app available in the App Store, and Android users can download it on NYRABets.com for details on the winners bonus. On all other betting promotions, go to NYRABets.com. Good luck today in that Preakness Exacta. We're going to take a break in the action. More coming up. Life magazine recognized her as one of America's 100 all-time heroes. The story of two-time Purple Heart winner, Sergeant Reckless, when we come back.
And they're off in New York. The premier state bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality. Audible, no doubt about it. You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
Back on Belmont Park Live, brought to you by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. We had a Claiborne sire getting a winner yesterday in the 4th running of the Sergeant Reckless Memorial Dash. This was at Pimlico on Black-Eyed Susan Day. Sauer, the daughter of Flatter, remaining perfect for trainer Linda Rice. She won by more than 7 lengths in her debut at Laurel. And then at Pimlico on that sloppy racetrack, bred to like the off-track. proved she liked this kind of going as well. Now a perfect 2-for-2. Horatio Karamanos was on board for a win in the 4th running of that Sergeant Reckless Memorial Dash. So definitely one to keep our eyes on, as she is now undefeated in 2 career starts. Story we're about to show you is not about a Triple Crown winner. There were no Grade 1 wins or roaring crowds during her days. Instead, during this mare's time, the soundtrack to her life was war, and her racetrack was a battlefield. Her legacy far exceeded what anyone could have ever imagined.
Reckless was bred to be a racehorse, but sadly she never had a chance to race because her 2-year-old season, that's when the war broke out and racing was suspended. So instead of becoming a racehorse, she became America's greatest war horse.
I think what impresses me most about Reckless's story in the Korean War is that they bought this horse at a race park in Seoul and turned it into a combat enabler.
Lieutenant Eric Pedersen was the man who purchased Reckless for $250, and he was the commanding officer of the recoilless rifle platoon. They decided to put her through hoof camp, which was the equine version of boot camp.
We hear about on-the-job training. This was the epitome of it. Literally, this horse was trained to lie down under fire, to protect itself, it knew how to avoid obstacles and barbed wire. And truly, after just a couple of show and tell on the fly routes, the horse would do it by herself.
They would take her up and down the hills to get her used to carrying the pack saddle and the ammunition on her back. These canisters of ammo were very large. And before Reckless came along, the men had to pack this themselves. The camaraderie between Reckless and her men was something special. She was the only animal in camp, and so the Marines became her herd, and she would follow them anywhere and everywhere. She would even sleep in their tents at night. She would follow them into the mess tent and eat breakfast and had bacon and eggs. Even after a battle, she would have a beer with the guys.
The fact that Marines could depend on the horse to do the resupply routes, that means it wasn't just a horse to them. It was somebody that they were in the fight with.
What started the battle for the Nevada cities is at 7 o'clock at night, 3,000 enemy soldiers descended upon 3 outposts in this area. Reckless's men were guarding Outpost Vegas. They, of course, were overrun, and so Reckless's mission began that next morning. Started loading her up with 6 rounds at a time. By the middle of the day, she was up to 8 rounds at a time. She knew what her job was, she knew where her men were, and she would go up to the guns by herself.
There were stories of up to 50 times in one operation that she ran a supply route by herself. That frees up Marines for combat and for other things. So I believe that that's the most impressive part about the horse.
She carried 386 rounds of recoilless rifle ammunition. That's over 9,000 pounds on her back. Incoming fire was so fierce that the men couldn't hear themselves talk, and Reckless was in the middle of all of this.
Under artillery fire and mortar fire, she continued to do her resupply mission for the Marines, and especially having been wounded twice, and that not having deterred her to continue to do her mission through the end of the war it's really astounding.
They had a ceremony sending her off in October of 1954. Is when she left Korea. She was the guest of honor of the Marine Corps ball that was at the Marines Memorial Club in San Francisco. And she waltzes through the lobby and gets in an elevator and goes up to the 11th floor, sachets out of the elevator into the ballroom. She spied the anniversary cake over on the table, and before the guys could get a hold of her, she was up to her nostrils in it. And then after that, she moved over to Camp Pendleton. At Camp Pendleton, while Reckless was there, the Commandant of the Marine Corps promoted her. There was a 19-gun salute in his honor, and a parade of 1,700 troops walked by to salute her. She had 3 colts, and she had a filly. Sadly, the filly died at a month old. Unfortunately, all the colts were gelded, so there is no bloodline for her. Her story just kind of disappeared from the pages of history. And what's interesting is she was as famous as Lassie and Rin Tin Tin in her day. She was an iconic hero. And when she died, her story made the front page news in newspapers across the country. And she was buried with full military honors.
I first came to light on the story of Reckless at the National Museum of the Marine Corps in Quantico, Virginia, where a statue by the same artist who did the statue that's behind us was erected to honor this great mare. I think Staff Sergeant Reckless's legacy is going to be that the courage and the dependability that she showed in combat made her truly what the saying is, not just a horse, but a Marine.
It is an incredible story. 9-month military career, numerous honors earned by Reckless, including 2 Purple Hearts. Was retired from active service with full military honors at Camp Pendleton on November 10th of 1960. Race 8 next here at Belmont. This one was scheduled for the main track, and that's what we're running. Mile and a 16th. New York bred allowance optional 40 race coming up. 3-2 favorite. A little surprising here. Calculated Risker with more on this one. We're going to send it downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale. This report brought to you by Hillendale Farm. Standing Curlin for $150,000.
Greg, honestly, I'm not that surprised with number 1, Calculated Risker, being the favorite as of now. He has a great off-track record. He ran huge first-off acclaim for Ray Handel and first time going long on the main track, and he has every right to be able to command this race, in my opinion. He looks fantastic here. He's well-muscled here overall. And talking with Ray, too, you know, he actually gets on a lot of his own horses, so it gives him a more intuitive feel for what these horses actually want to do. And he said from the time I've gotten on him when I claimed him, he's just felt like a horse who wants to run longer to me. And I think a Mount of 16th is probably, or 1-turn Mount of 16th is probably ideal for him. I think he might be able to recreate the same kind of performance that we saw last time in finishing second, first off the claim. Moving on to number 2, Horoscope, who's second off of the layoff, and second time here for Rudy Rodriguez. This guy does not have such a good wet track record. He is that bigger, heavier type of animal where a lot of times they just sink into the going. Whereas you look at Calculated Risker, he's small and balanced and he can skip over this surface. So I'm not enthralled with the track condition for him. And furthermore, I know he won very convincingly going a mile off the bench, and he probably wants to go long. The jury's still out, at least from my perspective with him. He looks good overall, but just not sure about the conditions for him. As we'll also check in with the horse who is off of a layoff in number 7, Gucci Factor. I like this horse. I'm a fan of him. He's big, he's attractive, but while he looks fairly fit in here, he's gotten himself a bit hot, a bit washy, a little kidney sweat, and a lot of times with that, when that happens, at least from my experience, is when they're telling you they need a race under their belt. So we'll see. He does have a lot of stops and starts in his career as well, as he's coming back now as a 5-year-old and only making his 8th start here in race number 8, guys.
Maggie, thanks. Gucci Factor, maybe a hunch play. Meghan Markle was wearing Gucci today at the royal wedding. We'll take a break, and Horoscope, get it done. We'll be back.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. He has won the Travers over American flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it as the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
You're watching Belmont Park Live. We're getting set for race 8. Coming up, we're going to have the post parade here in just a couple of moments. Final few horses making their way to the track there. We got to look at Holy Week. 2101 long shot. Charming Indy right behind that one. I want to remind everyone watching today's action, don't forget to play along from home. If you do, get signed up, started with NyraBet. You get a $200 new member bonus in your account. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage of that. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime, right from home or with the NyraBets app. Again, use that promo code LIVE to take advantage. Horoscope, the 2, returned off a year layoff, went gate to wire to get to the winner's circle, Andy.
He is way the horse to beat. You just have worried he'll get hooked up with Wicked Macho in a speed duel. He's going to be about 6-5 by post time. He's going to be a very heavy favorite. The problem with his last race is he got a giant figure, and other horses in the race have come back and run significantly lower figures in their next start, suggesting that figure, while it works for the race, may be an unpredictable number to expect him to run back to.
Here's a look at Calculated Risker as we kick off our post break. Trained by Ray Handel, Kendrick Carmouche aboard.
Ray Handel looking for a second win today. Perfect trip, an excellent race. Best race ever off the claim last time.
Rudy Rodriguez trains Horoscope, who we just talked about. Jose Lizcano aboard.
Really tough to tell if he needs the lead or not, but I would think he's going to get tried, or at least try to get pushed to the front end.
Evaluator, the 3 Regime Mirage, Michael Dilger.
3-year-old, a deep closer with talent, will be flying at the end.
Is Wicked Macho quicker than Horoscope?
He may be.
He may be. He cut out 45 and 3. Horoscope has done that before, but that's going shorter distances. Now going a mile and a 16th could be a difference maker. Tyler Gaffney in the irons.
8-1 right now. Holy Week, the 5, and trained by Phil Serpy.
He's overmatched in this field. He's a nice horse, but not good enough.
Charming Indy we'll see next. Dylan Davis aboard for Chris Engelhardt. Does own a couple of wins on off tracks.
I think this is a ridiculous price on this horse, cutting back in this. I don't know if the horse can win the race, but cutting back, I think you can see this horse maybe running second or third, and does have a good wet track resume, a couple wins and 9 starts.
Christophe Clement trains Gucci Factor with Joel Rosario.
My top choice in this race. He needs to be forwardly placed, perhaps stalking third. He's got some races going long that could win.
And Charlie Baker trains Bluegrass Cats Smile, who does own a win on an off track as well.
Yeah, and that was a while back, but 2 back 1 going a mile and 1/8 stalking, and Mike Luzzy almost got through in a rail with a win earlier today, and he won a race yesterday, so he's riding pretty hot right now.
Well, Evaluator, the 3 horse, looks like he has his game face on. He actually started out his career going long on the turf and won first time out from the clouds at Saratoga on the grass when he debuted last summer.
Well, this is the way he runs, right, Andy? I mean, like, they put blinkers on him last time to try to get him closer to pace. It did not work. But this is how he runs. He comes from way back, and then he's going to launch his one run.
I tell you what, this is a good horse that beat him in this race in the Empire Line. And he's a talented runner. Forget about the Wood Memorial. He wasn't going to beat a field like that. This horse, they can come running, and I think the one turn, especially with the expected fast pace in here, could really work in his favor. He has a real chance to win here.
6-1 right now on Evaluator. Let's head downstairs to Maggie for more on this field.
And taking a look at the aforementioned number 3 Evaluator in here, he looks like a wet track type of runner, but I don't know if this kind of wet track is going to suit him, as we haven't seen many horses be able to really close that successfully from way back. They come, and they come with a run, but maybe he does get that kind of pace collapse that he'll need. I do like what I'm seeing from him overall. I wish he looked nice. He was bowed up getting across the racetrack, but he wasn't skipping over it. He wasn't bouncing over it. And while he looks like a horse who should handle it, I didn't love the way he kind of jammed his toes in a little bit. We'll see. I picked him just because I thought he might get that collapse, but like I said, I wish he looked a little more convincing getting over it in the warm-up. Number 4 is Wicked Macho, and maybe you want to forgive him for the only time that he's tried to go long here was in the Easy Goer, which was won by West Coast. You're to Blame and Outplay were in there. Those are very talented runners. There's no such thing in this race here. Physically, though, I'm not convinced with him going longer. You know, he's just built more like a sprinter. He's built kind of more downhill overall. I mean, that is kind of typical of a Macho Uno type of line, but we'll see. I mean, Wicked Macho, he's going to also have to deal with Horoscope, right, guys?
Yeah, that's the question mark here, this pace duel. I think Wicked Macho outquicks Horoscope. Horoscope has to be in front, though, if he's going to win, though, right?
You'd think so, but I don't think they're going to sacrifice him. It presents a very difficult situation. This horse is fast early, as Maggie said. He was involved in that wicked pace where West Coast won, but I don't say you can dismiss that race because West Coast won it. He can't go long here, and I'll tell you something else. What race does he have that makes him good enough even if he could get the distance, guys?
Well, I mean, that's actually a good question.
On the way the track's playing today, if he could get in front by himself,
he can maybe get there.
But he can't. He can in front by himself against Horoscope and going slowly. And frankly, as we'll go to the 7 Gucci Factor, this horse is not slow. Gucci Factor's first time in the dirt, he dueled with his bum named Diversify. I don't know if you remember, he won a Grade 1.
Yeah, he was
the
okay.
Jockey Club Gold Cup. He's a bullet in the front end. He dueled with that horse, and he still finished second with an 82 buyer, dealing with a horse who was ultimately a Grade 1 winner. And then he came back in his and 2 races later, but next time going 1 turn on the dirt, and he ran an 89 buyer, setting a fast pace in there. So Gucci Factor's going to be outside stalking as well. So Wicked Macho's got to deal with Horoscope inside of him and Gucci Factor outside of him, both possibly more talented horses and definitely horses that want to go longer. So I don't know how he can possibly win this race.
Yeah, I mean, neither of
Not
us
that you guys are.
picked him.
No, I know you're not defending him. I'm just saying, like, what is the scenario where he wins? He outruns both of them early, and then he holds off the closers.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
I'd take 78 to 1, maybe. I still wouldn't bet him, but 7 to 1? How can you bet him at 7 to 1 here?
Well, people, yeah, I mean,
it's just a
see that it's going to be in front. They're taking a shot.
Yeah, true.
Meanwhile, Calculated Risker, Kendrick Carmouche having a big afternoon. This was a look back on April the 20th, facing Charming Indy.
It's a good effort. It really is. He split at the top of the lane, got him out, and he really lowers his head down low, and he's starting to dig in here. And he's couching, he's catching, he's catching. He's just not going to get there in time.
Got the absolute perfect
Yeah,
race.
but at least he was
ground
clear.
at an intense pace. But it's far and away the best race he ever ran. It's the first time he went 2 turns that I can find in the dirt. And the horse who beat him, Can You Dig It, was like 2 or 3 to 5 in this race and was a constant 90-plus buyer runner. So he was a legitimate, good trip or not, and that was first off the claim for Ray Handel. And he could get the same kind of trip today, couldn't he?
He's
sort of tucked behind the speeds.
Runner on an off track as well.
Yeah,
that's true.
3 wins from 4 starts on the off going for the 1 Calculated Risker, 5 to 2 on the board. And Andy, as you expected, it is Horoscope, the 9 to 5 favorite in here, as the multi-race wagers showed.
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be favored. But this is a very different scenario than last time, right?
I agree.
Much more talented. We covered his race last time. This is just a significantly tougher field, and it presents the possibility of having to deal with other speed. Doesn't mean he won't win, but it's not easy.
Going to be a little bit tougher for him, no doubt.
And the 7's getting ignored here, Gucci Factor. That horse got a big shot.
On to something there, certainly. 9 to 2 on the 7 Gucci Factor.
Late money for Evaluator. We went to 5. Now he's 6.
All set. Leg 2 of this pick 4. 2 left to load here on the outside, but it's Horoscope. He went off a year's layoff, the 2 horse. Can he go back to back? He's going to have company on the front end this time around. Let's go upstairs. John Imbrial with the call of the 8th from Belmont.
And a field of 8 set to go a mile and a 16th. Bluegrass Cat Smile moves in, and we are set for the start. 8th race here at Belmont. Main track's been sloppy and sealed all day, and they're off. And Wicked Macho shows first. Down towards the inside is Horoscope, who's racing in second. Gucci Factor's next in third. Bluegrass Cat Smile, Extreme outside in fourth. Calculated Risker at the rail runs in fifth. And Holy Week's in between horses in sixth. The break of 2 to Evaluator. And Charming Indy trails the field in 8th. Heading up the backstretch, Horoscope, Wicked Macho, the 2 of them are right together through a quarter in 23 and 3/5 seconds. Gucci Factor, Calculated Risker right together. And on the extreme outside is Bluegrass Cat Smile. Then comes Holy Week, who's running in 6th, but just 4 lengths from the lead. And farther back, it's Evaluator and Charming Indy. Horoscope leads here by a half length over Wicked Macho. The half was running 46 and 4 as they start the run around the far turn. Horoscope down at the rail by a neck. Wicked Macho on the outside in second. 2.5 lengths to Calculated Risker, who's on the inside of Gucci Factor. Then comes Bluegrass Cat Smile in 5th. Charming Indy up to 6th. Then Holy Week and Evaluator. They're moving for the quarter pole. Wicked Macho takes over the lead from Horoscope. It's Wicked Macho in front, 3/4 in 1:11. Horoscope continues to battle on down at the rail. Wicked Macho is the leader. Horoscope runs in second as they move for the 8th pole. Bluegrass Cat smiled out in the middle of the track in third. Then Gucci Factor and Charming Indy. But Wicked Macho has drawn away here. Wicked Macho with a 4-length lead. And it's 2 for Tyler. Wicked Macho takes it. Bluegrass Cat Smile was second. Then Horoscope and Gucci Factor.
Wicked Macho can go a mile and a 16th. I think if anybody thought he was going to win this race, he would have to be in front. He was content to let Horoscope have the lead.
Good job here by Tyler Gaffalione. I was questioning early what was going on, but he knew he had it. And listen, this horse won first time out over a wet surface. They must know that he loved it because he loved it today. He was never looking like a loser.
I'm stunned, and he was much the best. I mean, they walked in the front end. The pace was very slow, which helped him out. But Horoscope had absolutely nothing being on that pace. And, I mean, you guys said in the turn, Greg, you said in the turn, you said this horse is just not losing. And you could see him. Tyler was just sitting on him. This is a completely different horse this year. And I can't say enough about the job the assistant trainer to Mark Cassidy in New York does. These horses have been running great all winter long, and this was a terrific performance.
Bluegrass Scats Smile, the 8. Ran giant. He's the only horse that made up any kind of ground in this race with those big strides there on the outside for Mike Luzzi, who's been riding some big long shots at 17-1. This is going to round out a nice exacta if you have this.
4-8-2-7. Wicked Macho loving the off-going. He's 2 for 2 now on wet tracks. Wins at 5-1. Welcome to Belmont Park Live. If you happen to just be tuning in, Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling. We have Maggie Wolfendale with us as well. We are at the halfway point of this pick 4. We're going to bring you race 9 on the show. You can see the last race with the NYRA Now app, but plenty to talk about, including the Preakness still to come and can justify, take that middle jewel of the Triple Crown. But this performance right here in this second leg of the pick 4, very impressive from a horse that everybody was questioning. Could he get the distance?
Tyler did the right thing by raiding him along in the lead as though he knew he wouldn't have a problem, and the pace was a crawl. I mean, 23.79 and virtually 23-4. It had made it very hard to close, and it eliminated the closers, but still, Horoscope was brutal. I mean, he buried him.
Yeah, he did.
Tyler Gaffalione for Mark Cassidy, owned by Gary Barber. Winner's Circle time for those connections. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back, plenty more ahead, as Wicked Macho gets the win. March Express, she was sensational at Saratoga last summer, winning the first 2 starts of her career. Can she get back on track as a 3-year-old? We'll be back.
Make NYRA Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NYRA Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NYRABets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NYRA Bets, racing's best play.
We're back on Belmont Park Live. Thanks for being with us here into the winner's circle in race 8, the second leg of this late pick 4. It's Wicked Macho. Silks of Gary Barber, or trained, I should say, by Mark Casse. And now 2 for 2 on the wet going, $12.60.
Congratulations to Gary Barber, one of our good friends of our network here from Mark Casse and Tyler Gaffleon. Macho Uno had a Vindication mare, Wicked Beauty.
All right, let's send it downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale for more.
And I actually have 2 guests flanking me here as we'll start with Tyler Gaffleon picking up his 2nd win in a row here at Belmont. And Wicked Macho, Tyler, you were confident from the get-go, even with Horoscope applying some pressure.
Yeah, the horse was just really getting over the ground very well. I was just sitting on him, and he just kept taking me. When I asked him for run, he really kicked on.
And Tyler, it seemed as though horses that come back clean, no matter if they're far back or towards the front end, they're just relishing. It's when they get the kickback that they seem to back up underneath you.
Yeah, there's a lot of coming back, and it's a lot for a horse to take. So, I mean, I don't blame him.
And Tyler, you just said you're going to be up at Saratoga this year.
Yeah, so we're very excited about it.
All right, well, best of luck and congratulations here. I'll let you run to the jocks room, and joined by assistant to Mark Casse, Jamie Begg, and Andy giving you some props, Jamie, especially with this horse. You've done very well with him.
Yeah, he came off the farm that first win at Aqueduct, so, you know, I mean, kudos to the guys there. They had him ready to roll right off the shelf. So, and then, you know, I mean, today with the off track, I think it seemed to really help him doing the 2 turns, going to the mile on the 16th.
And obviously the only time he tried 2 turns was in a very deep and competitive field. Had he showed you in the mornings or anything that he'd be able to go this far?
You know, I mean, like, he had been doing all right, but you never know. And like you said, the one time we did try it was a totally different animal going in the Easy Goer last year, and he went really quick on the front end there. But I think he's a different horse now. Since we gelded him, he's really filled out, and he kind of used to play around a bit and be a bit of an idiot, and now he's much more a smarter horse, so.
Well, that's good. And Jamie got into this game because your dad owns and breeds horses, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was also the chief steward of the Jockey Club of Canada as well. He resigned recently, but so he's been in the game a long time, and my grandfather actually owned and bred horses as well.
Well, Jamie, congratulations here. Job well done throughout your time here at Belmont.
Thank you very much.
Got a Canadian here, eh, guys?
North of the border, getting it done here at Belmont on this Saturday afternoon. Nice victory from Wicked Macho. 3rd win of his career in 9 starts. It'll be interesting to see what the next spot is for this horse.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see. I mean, obviously a New York bred, but they're going to be looking for some wet track opportunities.
Do they stay going long?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I get that I get that the track might have carried the horse a little bit today, but he was able to handle it a little bit. He was able to rate. The last time he did go around 2 turns, basically, here at Belmont, it was against West Coast in his 2nd start.
He's never gone around 2 turns.
He's never gone around 2 turns, but I think he should at least try the distance again.
Listen, I couldn't have been more wrong about this horse. I
both
couldn't have
were,
bet him at 50 to 1. I am amazed he paid $12.60. They walked on the front end. Nobody could make up any ground. I get it. The race fell in his lap. I don't know how to make heads or tails of this horse. I don't want to act like I would never in a million years bet this horse back out of this race. But I was so wrong here. What's the difference?
Andy a little flustered because obviously a big day today overseas in his favorite TV show, Suits. Meghan Markle's not going to be part of that show anymore. She's moving into that next phase of life.
It's been hard.
Tough. It's been tough. It's a struggle.
Royal wedding
Paul
happened
and I are working through it together.
St. George's Chapel in Windsor. They traveled around Windsor after the service in horse-drawn carriage. Look at that, the newlyweds.
Yeah, it was great. It was actually really great, actually. I'm wondering why the mother didn't walk her down, considering Dad didn't show up because of other reasons. But beautiful picture there, Andy. Beautiful picture.
Hard to believe you weren't invited, Paul.
You
or
know
were
what?
you and you just didn't want us to show it?
I have about 7 different addresses, so it's somewhere.
You're going to get it eventually. Maybe you can go to the post party. We thought with the royal wedding going on, of course, Royal Ascot right around the corner. Think of some of our favorite winners from the U.S. over at Royal Ascot. So we'll start with you, Maggie.
Well, thank you, guys. I think I can hold this over your head that for all of you guys that I've actually been to Royal Ascot and I've been to, well, Eton, the school that's right around Windsor. So I have that on you. But looking at Ascot this year, we see the return of Lady Aurelia's already in those pre-entries, and she is the only American horse to ever win twice there. Her 2016 Queen Anne victory was absolutely devastating, but she came back last year as well for Wesley Ward and dominated the King's Stand. Now, she is entered for the King's Stand and as well as the Diamond Jubilee, which is at 6 furlongs as opposed to the 5, which is a little bit longer than I think she'd like to go. So I think that Wesley Ward will probably opt to go to the King's Stand, but she'll also be facing some American horses that we know, such as Bucaro and Bound for Nowhere as well for Wesley. But Lady Aurelia, she has been absolutely dominant in both of her Ascot performances. Guys, who has been your favorite?
Well, you want to
go ahead? Go ahead.
Well, for me, it was Tepin, and the reason why is that when Wesley Ward sort of changed the landscape of horses going over there. I mean, they did go over there earlier, but I think Wesley, when all the 2-year-olds went over there, he started thinking. I think a lot of other trainers started thinking, okay, maybe I can start shipping my horses. But I never thought an older horse, an older mare, would be able to accomplish what a Tepin did, and over this ground. Now, I get it. She loves soft ground, but the heart that she showed this day was amazing for her to ship all the way over there and get the job done in a Group 1 against those type of horses. I know it wasn't the best field, but I thought it was a great accomplishment because she got so tired towards the end. She showed a ton of heart. I think she emptied her tank that day. But for me to get to see her here in America, then to go over there and accomplish that in Ascot, I thought that was amazing.
Andy?
I love watching the races at Royal Ascot on TV. I have about zero interest in renting a top hat and a goofy outfit and going over there and sweating and watching the races. But I do love the races.
I would love to go.
Appreciate them. No interest at all. And I think it's preposterous the number of Americans like Yoshida, who would be one of the favorites in Manhattan, is going to run for like a third as much money over there. But I do love what Wesley Ward did, and Strike the Tiger, one of his big winners over there. And I think that Wesley had a lot of doing convincing people to go over there. But what Wesley did was he figured out something that people hadn't figured out, a niche to bring over sharp, fast 2-year-olds when the 2-year-olds are there just couldn't keep up with them. And what Wesley Ward has done over there has been nothing short of remarkable. The older horses in general, Tepin is not the example. She's the exception to the rule.
Wesley Ward changed the game. He's made it a destination spot to show that American horses can win there. Strike the Tiger was the first American trained horse to win there. That was back in 2009. And it's very special for Wesley Ward. He actually co-bred the gelding.
No, it's been amazing what Wesley accomplished, and he did. He changed everything. Listen, to each their own. You own a horse, you can do what you want with them, but I'm surprised connections to Yoshida are going over there for a race he has no chance in instead of a race he can win here.
Here's the thing. If you have a horse that can get to the Derby, you would absolutely say, I want to take that opportunity. I want to be in the Kentucky Derby. This is like 10 times the experience of a Kentucky Derby. It's just the fascination of being at an event that is one of the great events in the entire world and to be part of it.
Yeah, but you also got to do what's best for the horse, too. I think when you're sending a horse over there, you're sending a horse over there that it better be as good as Tepin was. Tepin was by far the best mare we had seen in a while, besides Golikova, best North American horse we'd seen, and she barely won a race. Yoshida's a mid-pack horse over here.
And also, Tepin had accomplished a great deal over here. She was a 5-year-old. Yeah. She had won all these races. Was she going to come back and run in all the same races she had already run before? So it was kind of a cool thing later in her career. And listen, I understand the appeal, and an owner pays the bills. They can do what they want. It wouldn't be my choice. You say it's a big deal. The Kentucky Derby is worth a huge amount of money, too, to win if you run your horse. I don't know if winning those races at Ascot's going to do a huge amount because turf horses aren't standing for that money in stud.
We're going to take a break. I want to remind everyone to sign up, get started, play with Naira Bets. New member bonus, bet 200 to get 200 in your account. You got to use promo code LIVE to take advantage of that. Go to nairabets.com and play along and get that extra bonus to bet as you wish. We're going to take a break. 11's. How will she fare in her turf debut coming up in the Soaring Softly?
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warthrock. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 mile at Keeneland, then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. His runners include stakes winner Star Doza, along with a growing list of talented young runners. At public auction, his yearlings have sold up to $200,000. Data Link, standing at Claiborne Park.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting.
Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
Back on Belmont Park Live. Question, you see it right there, 96 Dubai World Cup winner. Answer?
Well armed?
No, a cigar.
I have no clue.
Well armed. Good call there, Paul. Got me off the hook for my opinions today.
Soaring Softly, grade 3. It's now moved to the main track, and we have a few scratches in this group. With that, it is Elevences who is going to be making her turf debut instead. To stay on the dirt, but named runner, trying to win a race named after this incredible runner. Soaring Softly did not even try the turf until her 4-year-old campaign. When she got on the grass, she was sensational.
She really was. Daughter Chris S. Really flourished when she got over the green, and she was a very nice horse. She won a lot of big races, and on that day, she sort of rode the outside. In the Flower Bowl, I remember that day, that year on the Flower Bowl when she won that race 9. But in 1999, her resume was insane.
I'm a little bitter. I think I bet the horse that was blocked down
that
the
was
rail.
blocked down the rail, yeah.
It was a German horse that was blocked down the rail, so I'm glad you guys showed that. Soaring Softly, all kidding aside, was a wonderful racehorse and trained by Jimmy Toner.
Trained by Jimmy Toner, and it was such an emotional victory as well in that year that she had, because he had lost a few horses because of a fire that it was just devastating to his barn. And to have a horse like this have that big moment for him, it was incredible. First Breeders' Cup win for Jimmy Toner. And the Soaring Softly coming up next as we take a look at March Express. I love the debut from this horse. We saw her make her first ever start at Saratoga last summer. This was going 5.5 furlong, completely left, no chance. All right, race is over, right? You don't have a chance, 5.5 furlongs on the turf with a start like that. Well, she found another gear somehow, and she would weave her way through traffic. And somehow she's still near dead last at this point. Shift outside. And under Jose Ortiz, get up just in the nick of time to win her debut.
We saw this back-to-back, right? She did in their second start too, Andy, and then it started catching up to her.
In a stakes race.
Oh, she's a very nice horse. I mean, you know, I just don't know why I'd bet her on a dirt course, but who knows what she's going to do.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, does she show more speed? But yeah, Andy's right. She's got a wicked kick, and you know, with a shorter field now, with the 2, 4, 6, and 8 out, does she stay close enough where her kick maybe can sort of outdo these late going 7 furlongs? I don't know.
On the way we've been seeing this track play today, tough running style.
Yeah, it could be.
Tough to beat the 5 in this race. Figures to be a short price.
There's a look at the 9, Brattada, 7-2.
Yeah, this one was bred by Windstar, who we'll see in about an hour or so. This horse is going to have to cut back and go on dirt, but I think the outside again for this filly will help her at least keep the dirt out of her face for a while.
Well, 11s, as expected with a surface switch, the one to beat at 7-5, coming off back-to-back wins at Gulfstream. We're going to send it down to Maggie for more. This report brought to you by Hillendale Farm, standing Curlin for $150,000.
And Greg, I will get to 11s in just a moment, but to kind of elaborate on what Paul was just saying about keeping horses clean, we saw Bluegrass Cat Smile in the last race rally from off of it. And the only reason that that horse, I think, was able to do it because Mike Luzzy kept him out of any kickback. It seems as though any horses getting any type of kickback, and especially in this race where these are pretty much all turf horses, I think it's ideal. I think horses can make up some ground. They just need to be clean as they're coming down the stretch, as we will check out 11s, who will likely be clean from the get-go here for trainer Jimmy Jerkins. Now, she's extremely fit, coming off a little bit of a break here. Very, very fit, and she's sharp as well. Now, she hasn't grown much since the last time I had seen her, which obviously was back in November, but that's okay. She's a sprinter, and she's shown that she likes a wet track, and that's what you want in a wet track type of horse. You want them to be smaller and balanced and light on their feet, and I think we're going to see the same thing with her again. She's odds on and odds on for a reason, and I can back that up. Moving on to number 3, Nootka Sound, who is one of 3 horses who does have a win over at least a main track. Nootka Sound is impressive, though, because she has a lot of power from behind, and I like that about her. She's very, very well muscled behind the saddle. She was a little obstreperous to get the tack on, but they did get it on her without too many problems here. So she's another one that is at least showing some sharpness, which I think is ideal given the situation here in this Soaring Softly, guys.
Yeah, Maggie, thanks. Nootka Sound was actually trying to repeat what Strike the Tiger did, trying to win in the Windsor Castle Royal Ascot last year. Did not work out back in June of last summer, but this horse does have ability, and as Maggie pointed out, won on the dirt first time out. That was at Keeneland. This is a look at the turf win, though.
Good win. And if you look at the turf at this day, it was dried out.
Sorry, ran second here.
Oh yeah, it was excuse me, it was a little bit dried out that day. So I don't know. To me, Wesley Ward horses seem like they love an off surface. We've seen a couple wins so far. I think Nootka Sound might surprise you a little bit here at 7-2.
I mean, listen, the fact that she won on dirt is definitely in her favor, and she didn't run particularly well that day, but she was her star as a 2-year-old. She has the speed inside of the 5. I mean, she seems like the other horse in here, along with the 5 and 7. I don't have a lot to add in here. I would prefer horses that have dirt experience. That's all I could say.
And 11s, that is all she has known. They tried to get her on the grass in her debut, got washed out. Tried to get her on the grass today, got washed out. This was back on March the 24th, her most recent effort, a stakes victory in the Any Limit when she was able to beat at a very short price a 5-horse field at 1-9.
I'll tell you something. If she runs her last race, I'm actually a little concerned about her because this wasn't a very good effort. This field that she beat was not good. I mean, as you said, Greg, 10 cents to the dollar. You're supposed to beat this field a little more easily. Her race 2 back, she runs that race, they have no shot to beat her.
That's true. And the race win on the sloppy racetrack, her first race, when she won, she crushes this field.
Yeah, and he's got a point there. Maybe she react a little bit to that performance before that back on March the 4th?
It was 20 days, so maybe she came back a little bit quickly, and now she's had much more time, closing in on 2 months. And a good point, she runs her good race, they won't beat her.
This one here, dirt experience as well. She was going to be making her turf debut. She reeled off 3 in a row on the main track, including back-to-back stakes wins at Laurel and Aqueduct.
I didn't like her last race at all, but she should be in a good spot. Think stalking the 3 and 5 in this race, Paul?
I would think so. Her one race on the sloppy racetrack was on the outside. They didn't run it fast in 127, but she got the job done. And it's hard to argue with a filly that's won 4 out of 6 races. She likes to win. 15-1 on the morning line, obviously cut down to 5-1 because of the scratches.
No, turf, but that was because of turf. She wouldn't have taken any money on turf.
No, she wouldn't have. But she is a main player. She did beat 10 horses on dirt.
Got a quick look at Tyler Gaffleone in those lavender silks. He'll be on March Express. There's the favorite, though, 7-5. All eyes on Elevenses and Junior Alvarado with this surface switch here as we get a look at Nootka Sound. Wesley Ward talking about all his success at Royal Ascot, and this is a filly that went to Royal Ascot for him last year.
What Wesley Ward has done with 2-year-olds this year in and of itself, he won 10 straight 2-year-old races at Keeneland.
It's incredible.
I mean, it's remarkable. And I think he ran first and second in quite a few of those as well. He won our first race here. He's won with a number of 2-year-olds already in New York this year. Nobody better at getting them ready.
Yeah, I mean, year in, year out at Keeneland, he is the one to beat every single 2-year-old race he's in.
It's unbelievable.
Shocking.
Let's take a look at Strategic Dreams. This was in the Ruthless 2 starts back. This was a 3rd win in a row. It was a stakes win on a sloppy racetrack.
That's the one thing she does have, and that's why she's 5-1. I mean, is she fast enough? Well, we'll see today, but we know that she does like a little bit of wet on the surface, and this is a nice little effort here.
Oh, it was fine. I mean, she's meeting a tougher horse than Elevenses. I mean, she's going to have to, I think, run better than this race, but she can absolutely win this race. And I'll tell you something, she's the longest shot on the board, and she is the 2nd most accomplished dirt horse in the race.
Yeah.
To me, that's an overlay on these off-the-turf races. Well, yeah, she wouldn't win on the turf, but the dirt, she's probably the 2nd choice.
Yeah.
Time for our post parade. It's brought to you by OCD Pellets, celebrating their 10th anniversary of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. For more information, visit OCDpellets.com. We start things off with March Express. Todd Pletcher, Tyler Gaffleone.
She's obviously a very talented horse, but she has no early speed, and she's never been on the dirt.
Hat Creek Racing sends out Nootka Sound for Wesley Ward, the 3-year-old filly. We'll have Dylan Davis aboard.
Well, she's coming off 2 good turf efforts. She does have a win over dirt, this filly by Lonro. I think she's live today.
Joseph Shields, owner of Elevenses for Jimmy Jerkins.
She's the horse to beat. If she runs 2 of her races on the dirt, one of them is sloppy track, she will be almost impossible to beat.
The 7, Strategic Dreams for Pick 6 Racing with Rajiv Mirage for Rudy Rodriguez.
Maybe the Rodney Dangerfield in this field, even though she's won 4 races. Not getting much respect. She's the longest shot in here at 5-1.
And Peter Brandt owns Britannia, 3-year-old filly by more than ready for Chad Brown.
The 1-turn 7-furlong distance may be perfect for her, but who knows if she can handle the dirt.
Yep, dirt debut for the daughter of More Than Ready. Have an AP Indy mare. 4-1 on the board. 6-5, 5-1 separates everybody in this field on the board right now. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. Soaring Softly is next when we return with more Belmont Park Live. Stay with us. Soaring Softly is coming up next here Our show brought to you in part by this outstanding sprinter. Did his thing on the main track. Run happy, undefeated in sprints. 7 for 7 in his career. Now part of the Stallion roster at Claiborne Farm in Paris, Kentucky. Had a legendary stall 1. Breeders' Cup winner. Set a track record at Keeneland. And King's Bishop set a stakes record in that race that year. He was incredible. We're going to set it downstairs for more on this runner. Out of the Chad Brown barn to Maggie Wolfendale with more. Maggie.
And Pratada has never stepped foot on a wet track, at least in races, that is. And she did get a pretty nice warm-up here beneath Kendrick Carmouche, as if he was telling her, hey, lady, let's not lose too much contact with this field. She definitely got the most aggressive warm-up of any of the horses out here. And watching her over this surface, it wasn't like she was jamming in her toes, which I liked, but she definitely moves like a turf horse. So we'll see what she does over this sloppy going. Another one that was quite light on her feet in her warm-up was number 3, Nootka Sound. So that's giving me every indication that this filly should be able to handle this wet going very nicely. Greg?
Maggie, thanks. 4-1 on the Wesley Ward filly. Trying to pick up the 3rd win of her career. And again, won first time out of Keeneland. That was on the main track. Here's a look, though, at the favorite. Even money on 11s coming in from Gulfstream.
Yeah, and a horse that, you know, like Andy said, listen, horse won first time out by 10 1/4 lengths. I know it's an off-the-turf event, but he still crushes, or she still crushes over wet surfaces. Now they put blinkers on her as a 3-year-old, Lasix, and she's improved. I mean, she could have been improved even more. And he makes a good point now with this race on the turf, not off the turf. If she runs any of those races and doesn't back up, wow, she's going to be tough in here.
And she's theoretically, I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, how fast is Nootka Sound going to go? If I'm Junior Alvarado, I know she's actually rated and stalked before, but I'm not so sure. I don't want to get clear from Nootka Sound. But otherwise, isn't she just going to stalk outside of her?
I would think so.
And they're the clear speeds. But I think the one thing he doesn't want to do is go so slowly that Rajiv Mirage and Strategic Dreams can get in the race. And as we go to the 7 Strategic Dreams, I think Raj is going to be thinking, I'm going to be a little aggressive early, and if they don't want to get away from me, I'm going to sit in that garden spot. And if I were singling 11s, my concern would be they go too slowly and the others get in the race, and maybe that helps Strategic Dreams. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. You know, you have the 1 and you have the 9. Those are the 2 horses that are going to be way back. They're going to be hoping that the 5, the 7, and everybody else goes at it, because the 1 and the 9 are the 2 horses that will be showing up late. I like the 9 a little bit better than the 1.
There's March Express. Dirt debut, going to be coming from well out of it, you would think. It's been the running style on the grass for this one.
Yes.
Well, I had dirt picks here. I like the 5. 5's my pick.
Just about everyone does. Even money.
Picks.
Yeah, dirt picks. I like the 9. I'm taking a shot with the 9 that maybe they'll fall apart. That's a shot.
Little magic for good magic. Chad
but we all
Brown
agree the value on the board's the 7, right?
Yes.
I should bet the 7. Just box 5-7. They should be the first and second choice. This is ridiculous.
5-1 on Strategic Dreams.
What's going on around here?
There's your favorite. 11s, the 5, stepping in. Junior Alvarado. Will he try and dictate things up front early? Let's send it upstairs. John Imbrial with the call of the Soaring Softly.
And a few more to go in. Number 7, Strategic Dreams, and the outside horse, number 9, Bertata, who will be ridden by Kendrick Carmouche, who already has posted 3 victories on the card today. Strategic Dreams moves in with Rajiv Mirage, and now the final horse, Bertata, coming up to the starting gate. Field of 5 in this off-the-turf stakes race at 7 furlongs. And they're all in line. And they're off. Nootka Sound is out for the early lead. Nootka Sound in front by a length. 11s moves up now in between horses. Strategic Dreams on the outside in 3rd. March Express runs in 4th, and Bertata is the trailer. They race up the backstretch. Nootka Sound 3/4 of a length. 11s. The even money favorite tracks in 2nd with Strategic Dreams 3rd by a head. March Express down at the rail, and Bertata, the opening quarter, 22 3/5 seconds. There's a half mile to the finish. Nootka Sound on the inside and 11s on the outside, and the 2 of them now are heads apart for the lead. It's 2 lengths to Strategic Dreams in 3rd, followed by March Express and Bertata. Nootka Sound narrowly. 11s is on the outside. And Strategic Dreams is third, the half in 45 3/5 seconds as they move for the top of the stretch. Nootka Sound is holding on to the lead over 11s. Nootka Sound in front into the stretch, and Nootka Sound has a 2-length lead. 11s is all out in second. Strategic Dreams runs in third. It's Nootka Sound with the lead as they come through the stretch. Nootka Sound now by 3. 11s will be second. Nootka Sound will be the winner as she splashes home in the Soaring Softly. 11s is second, then Strategic Dreams, March Express, and Bratata.
Oh, crafty from Dylan Davis. There was no way he was not getting to the front in this spot. And they said, let's just dictate pace early and see how far we can go.
Yeah, I mean, Wesley Ward does a great job training him for speed. She breaks so sharply. Dylan went on with it. It was not a super fast pace, but it was an honest pace, and they just weren't catching her. I mean, she was absolutely best here. 11s has had every chance to beat her.
No, she did. You're right. And I think that Junior Alvarado did the right thing. He pressed her. He was right on top of her. He felt like in the top of the lane, okay, he's going to go by. And then each inch they kept going further. You're like, wait a second, the 3's going to hold the 5 off here. And again, like I keep mentioning it, but for some reason, you look at his wet stats, Wesley Ward can get him to run, and they go on the front end the whole way around here and win pretty comfortably at the end.
It's been the place to be on this racetrack this afternoon out in front. 4-1 on Nootka Sound. And that's going to play big in the pick 4 and that Naira Bet Slate pick 5. 4-1 beating an even money shot here in the Soaring Softly. Dylan Davis, Wesley Ward, Hat Creek Racing, 3-year-old filly by Lonhro. Takes this Soaring Softly that was taken off the turf. And a nice little purse of $100,000. 3-5-7-1. Skipping over this sloppy racetrack. Nootka Sound. And into the winner's circle for the 3rd time in her career in 5 starts. We're going to step aside. Short timeout. We will be back with more, including prices from the feature. Right after this, stay tuned.
This 3-time graded stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and horse of the year Up With the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. Runner-up in the Grade 1 Manhattan and Shadwell Turf Mile, Ironicus ran 7 triple-digit buyers, including this score in the Fort Marcy Stakes. Half to 4 graded stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by distorted humor. Ironicus at Clayton Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live and the feature in the books. Dylan Davis getting to the front and repelled the challenge from 11s. Kept on going gate to wire. Wins for Wesley Ward in the Soaring Softly.
Congratulations to this filly by Lonhro, the Empire Maker mare, Miss Red Delicious. And now she's got 2 wins on dirt, 2 wins on turf. So very versatile.
Yeah, a lot of options with this filly. Let's head downstairs to Maggie.
Here with Dylan Davis, who was aboard Nootka Sound. And Dylan, you had a game plan from the get-go. You stuck to it, and she took them all the way.
Yes, she did, Maggie. Well, it didn't matter if it was turf or dirt today. I felt like she was going to handle the surface anyway. But when she come out of the gate, she knew what she had to do. She relaxed for me nice. She didn't have no mind with that horse on her outside. She was just going her own way. And she knew what she had to do. Come in, turn it for home. She picked it up another gear, and she got it done.
Now, Wesley's not here. It's the first time you were on her. Did he give you any kind of instructions?
No instructions. I've ridden for Wesley quite a bit with my apprenticeship, so I have a good idea of how to ride for Wesley War. So, thanks.
Yes, thank you, Wesley. And they're always fast from the gate. Have you been on any of his horses in the mornings to know how does he instill so much speed in them?
Well, no, he's just a great trainer. He knows just how to start them. He knows how to train them from the beginning. And to get that, he gets a lot of speed into them early. With him, we just like to use it early, so we use it to our advantage. And with the speed track and the steel track, it was to our favor.
A little personal question: how's little Michael doing?
He's doing great, growing fast, almost ready to walk.
So exciting! Well, congratulations here in the Soaring Softly.
Thanks, Maggie.
All right, guys.
Maggie, thanks. The instructions might have been, if you don't get the lead, don't ever call me again.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and here's the thing. He doesn't have a regular barn at Keeneland. He actually asked the Keeneland ownership for an old tobacco barn that was there, and he refinished it himself, put his own stalls in there. So his horses are away from the rest of the horses.
Oh, I love that story.
At Keeneland, and he can break a 2-year-old, man. I'll tell you, I've watched him. He's very patient around the gate. He walks him in and out and in and out, and I think that's so much part of his success is that this horse, Nootka Sound, had 3-4 lengths on the field before they blinked an eye.
And, we give so much credit to Wesley, too. This young rider making a name for himself here on this circuit. Dylan Davis really starting to come along as a rider, and a lot of the trainers starting to take notice as well. $10.40 on Nootka Sound, winning for Wesley Ward and Hat Creek Racing once again. 11 winds up second. Strategic Dreams completes the trifecta. But the Soaring Softly, going to Nootka Sound, as Paul mentioned, has won on turf and dirt, and now on a sloppy racetrack as well. We'll take a look at the Naira Bets late pick 5 follow along. Shamrock kicked things off. 2 horses back to back, paying $10 or more. Wicked Macho and Nootka Sound could play big.
Okay, right?
Parlay's about $600 for $2 so far, so $150 for 50 cents. I see that nobody's hit the pick 6, carry over 36,000 plus in that. So let's take a look at these Naira Bets pick 5s. Probably pretty good.
I would think they're going to be good. You're right. Wicked Macho's going to play bigger than 1260.
Yeah, I agree. Much bigger.
Much bigger. So
much bigger.
That's probably going to inflate it. The pick 4s that I saw were pretty good. So when we come back, hopefully we'll get you those pick 5 will pays.
We're going to take a break. Dylan Davis, the winner of the Soaring Softly. We're going to take a look back at Black Eyed Susan Day Friday from Pimlico right after this. Stay tuned.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish.
You're watching Belmont Park Live. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling, Maggie Wolfendale with you from Elmont, New York. One more race to come here, and a race that you can watch on the NYRA Now app or at NYRA.com. I want to remind everyone watching today's races, play along from home, be part of the action. If you want to bet the last race from Belmont today, you can sign up with a free NYRA Bets account. Use the promo code LIVE, earn a $200 new member bonus. To get that bonus, you get it in just 14 days once you sign up and fund your account. Again, use the promo code LIVE to take advantage. Look at the field for that 10th real quick you saw there. In fact, super quick.
All the pick sixes are carrying over. The worst you can do in the pick five, the NYRA late pick five, is still your favorite, the 9, about 1,700, but they're good, Andy.
Well, we talked about it. It's like 12 times the parlay, like for the lowest possible. 12 times, I'm sorry, the parlay so far.
Yeah.
The horse is going to be 8-5 right now, and you made a great point, though, Paul. In this case, I'll say to you, you made a great point. Wicked Macho is a much bigger price in the pick fives than multi-race bets, but still tremendous payoffs.
Again, as I mentioned, go ahead and watch that 10th on the NYRA Now app or at NYRA.com. You can catch the finale coming up and see if you cash if you're alive in any of these multi-race wagers.
You can watch it on your PS4 after you get carpal tunnel playing Fortnite.
You only just play games with your PS4, right, Paul?
Come on, bro. Carpet tunnel playing Fortnite. I don't think I've ever heard a professional athlete actually admit
Sam
to that.
Jacobson with the Lakers got carpal tunnel playing video games.
Is he
Had
still
to
in the
sit
league?
out a couple games. Didn't have a real long career.
Wow.
We're going to take a look back at Black Eyed Susan Day at Pimlico. And, of course, the main event was the Black Eyed Susan.
Great call by you, by the way.
What's that?
Bringing back an old memory there.
Well, sorry to call him out. Red Ruby getting the job done for Kellen Gorder, daughter of Tiz Now.
Impressive, Andy. She was just skipping over the wet yesterday.
I tell you something, it has been lousy circumstances down in Maryland,
Really
but there have
has.
been some very good performances. She was terrific. We saw a number of good performances today, including the Sir Barton winner. Some nice horses down there this weekend.
Yeah, you're right. Red Ruby proved that she was the best today. She went right by Coach Rocks, who I actually liked on the Kentucky Oaks Day. She ran a gallant second. And Andy's right. We saw maybe a superstar Matola a little bit earlier in the day today, if you missed that. So, again, it's unfortunate the rain they got in Baltimore, but we've seen some great performances.
We'll show Matola, I think, tomorrow on the show, winning that Chick Lang, the 3-year-old stake. He might not just be the best 3-year-old sprinter in the country. He might be the best sprinter in the country.
Yeah, and the scary part is we've seen 3-year-olds carry that towards the Breeders' Cup, like Dre Frong and some other horses, too.
Run Happy?
Run Happy, yeah, you're right. So he could be dangerous, yeah.
Pimlico's special, Irish War Cry. Horse can be a little funny sometimes. Trains so good. Lights out in the morning, but sometimes just perplexes Graham Motion. But he was on his A game with a great break from the gates in the Pimlico special.
Yeah, and that was the key. We talked about this, and you know, Andy and I both said he needs to be on the front end. That's just the way he runs best when he's clear.
Yeah, Jose Ortiz got him the front, and the horse did the rest. It's nice to see him get back in the winner's circle. I'm a fan of this horse. Like to see Graham Motion do well. Also, we'll see. You know, obviously, they need to win a Grade 1 with this horse.
They do.
He's been close. He won the Wood Memorial. Obviously, was second in the Belmont Stakes, but they got to win a Grade 1 with this horse. And at this point, they're going to have to start stepping it up and facing tougher horses and try to get that Grade 1 for stallion value.
Now, that's certainly going to get this horse some confidence, a performance like that. Loving the off-going. Earlier on the card, the Adina Springs Miss Preakness, I should say. Happy Like a Fool. It's a big win. Wesley Ward, Tyler Gaffleone. There's those names again. 6.5 length win in the off-going.
It's amazing how these guys, you still don't realize, Tyler Gaffleone doing interviews with Maggie Wolfendale in the winner's circle. He was in the winner's circle yesterday in Baltimore, and wow, she strided out nicely too, winning the 33rd running of the Miss Preakness Stakes, and it gets her Grade 3 status, 110 flat, and she just left everybody behind her in doubt.
She was good. Wesley Ward, he'll ship anywhere. That's the thing with Wesley Ward. He'll run anywhere at different tracks, and he delivers.
Again, another wet surface winner for Wesley Ward.
That was a dominant performance. Happy Like a Fool, 3 wins now from 6 career starts. Daughter of Distorted Humor with the win. Race 13 was the Allaire DuPont Distaff. We're going to show you this one as well. And it was Song of Spring, trained by Neil Howard. Ricardo Santana Jr. for Stoneway Farm, the win.
She is improving a lot. She
really
finished third in her last race in the Double Dog Dare, one of our favorite stakes at Keeneland.
Keeneland, right?
And I got to tell you, if you can't root for trainer Neil Howard, you can't root for anybody.
It is true. You can see the horse on the front end is getting so tired, and he's trying to get out there to see that horse, but he can't. And boom, goes the Dynamite. You get a little price there in the Maker's Mark Allaire.
And Blue Prize was a boom. Was that Blue Prize? Blue Prize who ran second's a good horse.
No, he's a very good horse.
Glad to see Neil winning.
Yeah, it's true.
Nice. Boom goes the Dynamite.
I know.
Bringing the old special out. We're going to take a break in the action. We got more to come. There's a big race ahead. Oh, that middle jewel of the Triple Crown. We're getting it's the next race. We're going to break it down, tell you who's going to win this thing. Can Justify be beat? Andy Serling might have an interesting answer for you. We'll be back. Stay tuned. He looks confused as I say that because he likes Justify.
This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer by Tapit has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked #1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live. Final segment of our show coming up on Preakness Saturday. We have saved our Preakness talk for last. To tell everyone who we like, our thoughts on the race coming up. We're going to start, though, with Maggie Wolfendale. Can Justify keep it going? Maggie.
Yes, he ultimately can here, Greg. And considering the way the track has been playing there at Pimlico, it does seem fairly difficult to make up too much ground. Yes, the best horses seem to be on the front end and they're making their own races. We did see going back to the off-the-turf Dixie, it was a short field and we saw Fire Away coming up the rail and closing there. But still, I think the front end runners are going to dominate here, and that's exactly what Justify will do. Now, a horse that was a bit further back than he usually is in the Kentucky Derby is Bravazzo, one of two D. Wayne Lucas horses, and him and Bob Baffert kind of have their own little match race going on to see who can tie for most winningest Preakness wins of all time, going back to Mr. Walden around the turn of the 19th century. So Bravazzo, I think, will be laying a bit closer, and he might be sitting in that second flight of horses in which he can pounce if there is kind of any pace collapse. But we saw Justify go fast and not necessarily finish fast, but at least he had enough stamina to stick around going the 1.25 mile Kentucky Derby. So it's really all about Justify here. And if he can withstand, though, the kind of hard and short campaign that he has put forth here from trainer Bob Baffert, if he can pick up his, 7th Preakness win here, guys?
Looking, it would be his 7th. He would tie an all-time record. Of course, if the coach could get there, it would be a 7th for him as well. But again, just getting to the Triple Crown is taxing. doing it in as short a time as he has puts a lot of stress on a horse.
No, it does. Listen, I'm not going to go against him. I'm just not going to go against Justify. I'm not going against Mike Smith. I'm not going against Bob Baffert. And the reason why is they're 2 Hall of Famers. They know what they're doing. I said this earlier. I respect Chad Brown more than anybody, and Jose Ortiz. I think he's the most up-and-coming rider, but I just think they're up against a beast.
I see no reason to try to be Justified here. The only horse that has a chance to do it is Good Magic. He'll take his chance, and I think he has a chance to do it. The other horses are simply not good enough. If either or both those horses show up, they both show up, they'll run 1-2. If either one of them show up, they will win the race. I think they will, and I think they'll run 1-2. I thought that Bravazzo and Tenfold would be my horses for third.
Yeah, my long shot would be Good, or is it the 4 in there, which is...
Good Magic at 5-1, by the way, is a good bet. I don't think he's a bad bet, by the way.
Diamond King.
Clearly the other horse in the race.
Federico Tessio winner for John Service. And look, it's horse racing. Anything can happen. But I think if Justify loses, he's probably going to wind up beating himself. It will not be because
unless
anyone beat him.
Good Magic really steps forward, but he's going to have to step forward to beat him.
2-5 right now on the Kentucky Derby winner, Mike Smith. We had a chance to talk to him yesterday on the show. All systems go. He sounded as confident as can be. And, of course, he's been on the big stage so many times before. No better rider to have on board than the Hall of Famer Mike Smith this afternoon. It is about 50 minutes to post in the Preakness. Good luck to Justify, and good luck to our colleague as well, Tom Amos with Lone Sailor. If he can't win it, hopefully he can get a piece of the Preakness as well. I know he and his family very excited about this opportunity. One of the best trainers in the country. Good luck to him and to everybody in that race. It's going to be fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed our show this afternoon. We're back tomorrow as well, same time, 4 Eastern. We'll have more racing here on this Sunday card. We'll recap everything that happened in the Preakness, and we'll see what we have on hand June the 9th when we get here for the 3rd and final leg of the Triple Crown. Will a Triple Crown be on the line for Justify? We're going to find out shortly. Hope you enjoyed it. Fantastic action here, even though we were rained out a little bit, had a few scratches, but Tyler Gaffleone certainly enjoyed his time getting the job done with a stakes win. Newt Kassoun, winner in the Soaring Softly as well. We will see you on Sunday. Enjoy the Preakness, and hopefully you join us here tomorrow on MSG+.
NyraBet's your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NyraBets, racing's best play.